Good morning, everyone. I trust you're all well. I know we've had a bit of teas and breakfast and snacks, but I do hope that everyone is fully engaged for this. Thanks to Chris as well. Last minute, he asked me to come through, and I was uncertain what I wanted to present. So if I can see a show of hands, how many are marketing managers in the room? Okay, quite a lot. Awesome. I think next question is how many, we all have social media, right? Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Awesome. Well, can we begin? So I am the MD of Luna Digital. We're a social media marketing agency helping small and medium-sized businesses scale using paid advertising and conversion funnels. We used to do a lot of this stuff. We used to do content, we used to do influencer marketing, but then we've just funneled down and scaled down because what I came to understand was businesses want a return on investment. And I'm sure as marketing managers, you sit in your meetings and you get asked, okay, if we're spending all this money here, where's the return, what's coming back in? And often it's can't quantify it because it's a long-term game. Social media is a long-term game. So talk today is on navigating through the social noise. That was our tagline. We still use it because social media is a complicated, how do I even say this? You get what I'm saying. So we try and navigate and we help businesses navigate through the social noise, and that's what we're going to be speaking about today. So why can I talk about this? So me and my team have been able to help small and medium-sized companies deliver a minimum return on investment of 4 to 1, and this is all through paid traffic and conversion funnels. I worked with Dylan Colstad at Shift One. I'm not sure if you guys know Shift One. Dylan Colstad, she has been a speaker at these events prior, and I helped her in my 19-month journey at Shift One scale and bring on more clients such as Sunlam, Canteen Temple, and a few others just to name. As well as I practice what I preach. That's why I have Thomas to everyone's right recording this, because it's all about value, it's all about content, it's all about putting yourself out there to get that return. Main topics for today, so we'll cover the importance of storytelling on social media, how it affects your brand and the lives of your customers. So what are you communicating to your customers for them to fall in love with your brand ideally? I think everyone's got a story, we're all individuals in here, we've all gone through a lot in life. That's interesting, and so has your business and your brand, and quite frankly, people actually are interested in the behind the scenes and not just the front face. Second, we'll go into how to respect people in the buying cycle. This is what we found. Well, let me put it this way. Who gets annoyed when they see an ad that just says buy now, and you actually scroll through it? Can I see by show of hands? Yeah, 80% of the room, 90% of the room. We need to learn to respect people in the buying cycle. So we'll be speaking about that, how to increase your chances of converting your audience, and how to avoid being a digital clipboard salesperson. And then also we'll wrap up with the Q&A for you to get the most value out of here. So whatever questions you have regarding social media, influencer marketing, content creation, paid traffic, we'll go through that at the end. Awesome. So any business, in this talk, we'll go through any business can leverage from these strategies and tactics and to increase brand awareness, content engagement, and actually get deliverable results. I saw Chris showing me there's a wide variety of industries and businesses in here. So I do hope you all do gain value from this. And as I said, towards the end of the Q&A, I think everyone will have their questions that they want to ask. And please feel free, if there's a question, often, and I've been guilty as charged, you have a question you want to ask, but you don't ask it. And you actually never get the answer to it then. And again, the beauty in YouTube and certain other social media platforms is that there's a lot of stuff in there to learn from. Awesome, so storytelling in 2019. Where do I begin? Social media is, well, let me say this, I don't know what you guys have gained from all the speakers today, but I'm just gonna speak from where we've been and the journey that we've taken clients on and what I've seen as a consumer and a user of social media. So social media started off way back, just being a communications platform. I'm sure all of you know where you could post a photo and your family would see it on Facebook. And you'd get grand messaging, uncles you don't know messaging, friends that you've never met before messaging. And now you post a photo and you're lucky to even get one comment or even your photo being seen. And that's because social media has just changed dramatically in the last 10 years, and the communication, how we storytell on social media has changed over the last 10 years. You take a look at how brands try to communicate their story through. It's mainly about day trading attention. I know we all use social media, and I don't know how many of you follow bigger brands, but I think at the end of the day, and what you see with them is that they post engaging content that grabs your attention. And I'm sure that we've all seen as marketing managers, when we post a photo, we get low engagement because the photos, the content's not engaging enough. We've got 10 seconds to captivate that user. I mean, I do it myself as well. I sit, I scroll, and if it doesn't captivate me, you've lost me. And I think it's finding that key in content that is valuable for the other person. We've also moved away from being heavy content consumers like movies and television to short bite-sized pieces that are easy to consume and that I can get value straight in and now. And I think that if we apply those learnings and understandings into our content and our strategies, we're able to actually put out great content for the user and for our customers. Also, with social media, what I've seen is that when we post as a brand, we post as if it's not a human on the other side, yet it is. There's a user on the other side of the post, there's a user on the other side of the video. Create videos and put it out as if you want them to engage with your brand, you want them to be with you, you want them to understand the value that you're giving back to them. And I think that's first things first for all of our brands that are in here is how do we post content that is valuable but speaks to our service offerings, but very subtly. Another thing, how many of you post content and will duplicate the same photos, the same content across all platforms? Be honest, because that's what we did. We thought social media was just, I post one photo and I duplicate it across all different platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and think we're going to get the same engagement across the all. But have you seen is, if you post a photo on Pinterest, you post one on Facebook, you post them at the exact same time, targeting more, if your audience is the same, you're posting both the photos at the exact same time, you'll see that the engagement on the platforms are different. And I think as brands, we need to understand, and we're all at fault here, is to understand the person on Facebook, the different type of engagement on each platform. Someone who's on Facebook is different to someone who's on Instagram, or consuming content on Instagram who's different to Twitter. Correct? Same as YouTube. So I think for us to understand the audience engagement on those platforms will allow us to better create content. So from what I've seen, there's Facebook now from being family and friends to I run now that all my elders in my family on Facebook. And it's become a platform where it's just become advertising, and you could almost say it's your second website. Reason being is the engagement on the Facebook page right now has dropped to 0.2%. I think we've all seen that. There's brands that have 300,000 followers, but only get 50 likes and 2 comments. And you think, and everyone goes to think, did they buy the followers? Did they buy the bots as automation? No, it's just Facebook has now repivoted to being ad specific and wanting to make more money for them. And I think that's what they've done, even with acquiring Instagram and acquiring WhatsApp. Be aware, when WhatsApp starts throwing ads in your stories, you know why. Give you the platform for free, they allow you to come in, and then they run ads. So for me, Facebook's become a platform that has acted as a second website. Instagram back then, back in 2008. I mean, yes, I'm young, but I still, I was back then, I did use the platforms and they were still starting off. I mean, Instagram started off just being a photo sharing platform. You could post a photo and you could get 100 of likes, you could do the hashtags, you could do the comment like for like, follow for follow, and you got all of those. Now it's turned into a platform where it's high quality content, very engaging, short and snippet, and I want value now. How many of you go onto Instagram and you don't spend more than 5 minutes scrolling? I mean, we all do. We want to see what's happening quick and we scroll through, and that's also, not to blame, but our generation in itself. A lot of, we always say, oh no, it's a younger generation. Yes, we all at fault, we all use the platforms. So to understand that Instagram's high quality content, short, value driven, I want to get the scoop in and now, and that's why they also bought over stories from Snapchat. Instagram never had stories up until Snapchat launched, and they're like, wow, you guys know what you're talking about, so let's steal your idea. Twitter. How many of you have Twitter? How many of you post regularly on Twitter? Awesome. Twitter, you know, it's also been changed, but I think the one thing that stayed the same with Twitter is that it's the most authentic communication. It's the most authentic social media platform. Social media at its core was communication. I post, you respond, I share, you write back. And Twitter has been that through and through, and it's still maintained that stature. Pinterest, I don't use Pinterest. I know it's being very biased target, but very female driven, am I correct? Very female driven, very mood board driven, very inspirational and aspirational. Whereas you create your boards obviously for what you want to see. So again, coming back to it's understanding the user on the different platforms and actually put yourself in their shoes when posting content. At times you want to post because it's going to fit the brand, but at the end of the day, again, coming back to it, there's a use at the end of the day. You know, if I want to see if VW were posting content, you know, I would love to see an influencer in there doing a carpool and running a whole different series on it and bringing on different users. I mean, it's subconscious branding, but at the end of the day, it's engaging, it's good content. But we forget and we just bombard with a whole bunch of photos thinking it's brand, you know, posting all this product, but you're not seeing any engagement, any return on investment, and actually your followers aren't growing as fast as they used to. So again, I think storytelling on social media now from 2007 has changed dramatically. I think we all can agree we've seen the rise in personal brands and influencer marketing. So I know it's become a big buzz. We need to get influencers in, we need to get so-and-so in, we need to do this and do that. And yes, we do. Bearing in mind that they fit the brand and they speak the story that you want your customers to hear. I think that's the biggest, another point for everyone is if you're going to do influencer marketing, get an influencer who understands the brand, who understands the values. You don't want someone who you're going to give free products to and then they actually don't do it. You give them free products and then they actually don't do anything with it. You did it in hopes of them to post a photo and at least speak about the product, but then they don't. So I think that's the biggest thing now that I'm seeing in the South African market is getting influencers that are actually brand-centric and aligned with your values and your long-term objectives. We're seeing a churn of influencers, and it's, you know, influence is not a new thing. It's a new form of storytelling because people relate to people, they don't relate to brands, and I'm sure everyone has seen this. I don't know about you, but I seldom watch brand content, but I'll watch an influencer, or I'll look at people's content as opposed to a brand's content, and that's because we relate to people. We're human beings at the end of the day. I lost my footing there. So storytelling has changed over the time, and it's changed to people, and to get humans, so bring people, bring personalization into your brand, bring personalization into your content, and then get a personal representative of your company to storytell that way. I think we're also living in the biggest time where attention is the commodity and it's the asset. Attention right now. How many of you have Blackberries? Everyone. Everyone, and I'm confident everyone now has got a Galaxy, or sorry, a Samsung or iPhone, etc. The medium's changed. How many of you still listen to the radio when you drive? Interesting, I like listening to music, so. How many of you actually look at billboards? Do you really look at billboards when you drive past? Sure. But I can guarantee your passengers not. So if you're driving with someone, I guarantee they're not. And that's the thing, attention is the commodity. We need to understand that there's so many eyeballs on these platforms and that they're humans. We need to treat them like that. And the more eyeballs you get on, the better. Now we're going to move on to respecting people in the buying cycle. Now this is where I like to dabble in. So Luna Digital shifted from doing influencer marketing, content creation to just paid traffic. But you and I both know that being bombarded with ads isn't fun. I'm sure when Take-A-Lot launched and they were retargeting you, you got so annoyed that you wanted to block them, but you couldn't. Xando, Superbalist, you name it, all of these brands were retargeting and they weren't respecting the buying cycle. It's people at the end of the day. You don't walk up to someone, you knock on the door and you say, hey, can I come in? And you don't know the person. It's disrespect. And it's the same thing. We need to understand that it's my mobile device, and I think that's another thing, is that in the time that we live in, we're able to control what we see. So I'm gonna go back again. Don't blame social media for the wrongs. Blame what you follow on social media, because we control the time and we control what we see on social media. So same thing, you need to understand and respect people in the buying cycle. So I don't know how many of you are running ads and how they're working so far. Good? Good? And no one else is running paid traffic. You are. What company from? Okay. I bring this up because, again, social media is changing now, and we've seen this. Organic content is at a low right now. Zuckerberg's thrown things on its head and he said, I gave this to you for free, now you need to pay me to see your people. And you need to pay me for people to see your content. And the more you pay him, the more visibility you get. But within that, again, see, listen, that's what Facebook's done. Facebook said, listen, you had your platform for free, you were able to see your friends and family, you were able to amass as many followers as you wanted, but now we need to make money because we've been riding this out for a long time. So for you to get the extra awareness and attention, you can't just post an organic photo anymore. You have to bear in mind to now boost the post and boost the best performing post, and then run paid traffic. So respect people in the buying cycle. So how to respect people in the buying cycle, how to increase your chances of converting your audience, and how to avoid being a digital sales clipboard person. One, most people are selfish and go straight for the pitch. Again, Take-A-Lot said, buy my stuff. You were there to follow your friends and family and do whatever you wanted, but you saw this ad and they sold you immediately without telling you why you needed to buy, why you needed to sign up for your service, why you needed to take action on whatever you wanted them to. Too many people go straight for the sell. Again, they're only sell, sell, sell. How many of you are from a sales background? How annoying is it, and you've seen in sales, that when you try sell to someone, they don't want you to sell, they don't want to be sold. Correct? Same thing on social media. It's just, the only difference is that there's a phone between you and I, and what I'm trying to communicate to you. So, they only sell. And people hate that you burn 90% of the people you're targeting and simply playing a numbers game. This is when people say, I've spent money on social media, but it doesn't work. Nanga, I've spent 10,000 Rand on ads and it didn't work. Why? Because you sold and you weren't funneling them down. It's sales, it's a sales game. And I'm coming at this part for you because it's the paid traffic, and I'm bringing this part up in my talk because, again, you'll see content engagement's at an all-time low, but you need it, it's brand. But you also need to drive paid traffic to get your return on investment. And right now, if I was any brand right now, even if it's spending 500, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 Rand and boosting posts and running them as ads, you'll get a lot more attention and awareness than what you're currently doing. Cool. So at Luna Digital, with all our clients, we use a paid strategy called the Venus flytrap. How many of you know what a Venus flytrap is? The plant. You sit on it, it's gonna bite you. And that's essentially what we do with advertising is, the Venus flytrap opens its mouth, it says, hey, come to me, see me, I'm not a bad guy. As soon as you're in, you're locked in, you're closed, and you're done. And that's what we've taken you through, but through content, you've gotta entertain the person. I hate watching content or being, I'm sure a lot of people watch Vine. I mean, that's why Vine used to do very well, but on social media, if content's boring, you swipe past. If it doesn't trigger any emotion, you're upset, you're crying, you're happy, you laugh, whatever it might be, it needs to trigger an emotion, but we want to entertain you. And that's the first step of running good ads, or even just getting the attention of people on social media. Why? Because it's the same, you know this yourselves. You don't watch terrible content, you don't watch things that aren't entertaining, so why do that to other people? Educate. So now that we've entertained them and we've brought them in and they know who we are, we say, now, this is a case study, or hey, this is what we're doing in this development project, or hey, this is something about our internal staff team. A lot of times we'll post it as organic content, but people aren't interested in that. But if you run it as an ad, I guarantee you they will not watch it, but at least you have that attention. And I'll get to why we do it this way. So you've got to entertain, to educate, and then to eventually execute on whatever that might be. So whether you're driving that traffic to your store, whether you're driving it to your website, whether you want them to fill out a contact form for you to contact them, or you just want them to come through and get a coupon, whatever it might be. But there's certain steps to get us to do that. And I'm sure, you know, when you're in the mall, or let's say you're buying sneakers or whatever you're buying clothes, I'm actually upset with a lot of retail right now. I feel like they don't, retail back then, they would watch you, eye you out, see what you're interested in, talk to you about something that was completely irrelevant, ask you a bunch of questions, and then get you to buy the product without you knowing, subconsciously. So how to respect people in the buying cycle, how to increase your chances of converting. Number one, you're going to want to target your ideal future customer using engaging content. So if we come back to the entertain part of the cycle, if you're going to run your first Facebook ad, make sure you run it at your ideal future customer. So not who it is now, but who it is later. We're all growing up, right? We're all growing up. We've got to bear that in mind when we're creating marketing collateral for business. You know, if you're selling insurance, how are you selling insurance to the guy who's 24 years old, who's just finished studying and he's going to need to get insurance? How are you going to sell your bathroom tiles to a newly wedded couple at 28? You know, you want to get someone to blood donate. How are you going to get them interested, and why are they interested in donating? Next, you then want to leverage engagement objectives and the video views objectives optimized for through play. So this is obviously for video ad campaigns, but I think first question, how many of, there were only 3 people that ran ads. So if you open up Facebook Business Manager, there's different objectives that you can run. So you can want to do a lead gen, just a general awareness ad. So if you had an open day somewhere and it was super amazing, you wanted people to see it, an awareness ad. Because again, the organic's only going to show it to 100 people. You run it at 500 Rand, it's going to show it to 1,000 plus 20,000 people. Actually, it depends on how much budget you put behind it. And then you want to leverage the objective. So if it's a video that you ran, through play is how long someone watched it after 5 seconds. Sorry, yeah, 5 seconds. 5 or 10 seconds. Because that we know, it depends how long the video is, but that is when we know how engaged they are with our content. I mean, the attention, correct me if I'm wrong, there's a stat that says humans have low attention spans than goldfish now. And it's sad. So, you know, you want to leverage objectives because you want to understand, was our content good or not? Was what we put out good or not? Next, you want to go into Facebook audiences and build out your video view audience and all your social interaction from Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So this is the beauty. Nanga runs an ad, he's got a fitness apparel brand. He wants people to see the new season that he launched. He runs the awareness campaign. He puts about 1,500 Rand behind it, he ends up getting 15,000 reach. How many of you know the difference between reach and impressions? Reach, obviously reach being, it's the amount of people that actually engage with it, and then impressions is just what they saw. So if you've got someone coming back to you and in your internal meetings, I don't know how senior everyone is in the room, but you want to focus on the reach, because the reach is saying Nanga actually had it on his screen for more than 3 seconds, so I know he's at least seen it. Whether he liked it or not, he's seen it. So we can build custom audiences and say, this person watched between 5 seconds, so they fall in this bracket. This person watched the full video, so they fall in this bracket. And then we can speak to the customers differently. It's just like landing on the website. Someone who lands on the contact page is different to someone who lands on the home page, to someone who's different who landed on the service page. Why? Because if I land on the service page, I already knew what I wanted. And with these warm audiences now, you can create and target them with whatever the next step is. So whatever the middle thing is that you want to show them. So it just depends on your service and your industry. So for myself now, coming back to, if I owned an apparel brand, I would then want to retarget to them with maybe a fitness guide. Because they're interested in fitness apparel, and I know they gym, so they might want to download my leg program, for example. Social media is just all about value. And that's really what I'm trying to communicate to. It's all about value. It's what can you give to them for them to give to you later. Whether it's now, whether it's later, you want to provide them value so that they can come back. And then this will lower your cost, increase your reach, and increase your chances of converting. And why it's lowering your cost is, again, if I want to make a sale with someone, who knows, let's say you make your sale after the 4th engagement with the person in the meeting. Or you're about to date someone, it's only after the 4th or 5th date we actually really get to know the person. And it's the same thing with advertising. Is your cost is lower because you've already engaged with them, you saw them, you've warmed them up, you've made them interested. Let me ask quickly, is there any questions about this that anyone wants to know? No? Why brand matters in the long term. So, social media is not going to be around forever. It's really not. I've anticipated this. As an agency owner, I've anticipated this as well. It's great right now, and it's because Zuckerberg's made it a paid platform. And people are going to run away. They started having ad blockers on YouTube, and you can add ad blockers on Facebook. But again, organic content won't be seen, so you need to run ads. Or even boost the post. Not saying run ads, but you can boost the post. Brand in the long term, for me, is going to be very important. Who follows Nike? And have you seen what they post on Instagram whenever they have a campaign with the Custis Mania scandal? And that all blew out, and immediately that same day they posted a Twitter image, and then they created a video for her that they throw on Instagram. Nike tells stories. They don't sell you the product. And this is another thing. Influencer marketing is not a new BuzzFeed. It's again, coming back to Nike. Michael Jordan was their first influencer. They said, hey Mike, let's throw shoes together and let's sell it. And now what they've done is they never say buy my shirt, buy my pants, buy whatever. They show you the person that you like, because again, we engage with humans, and through them you purchase the new product. So that's why you buy the new Mercurial Nikes, for example. I mean, if we really want to, if I can put into a practical example now in the South African scene, Suzal DIY. Something I thought about which would be pretty cool. She did do it was, she likes to do DIY products. If she went to Builders and they had a campaign and they created some products together that they wanted to sell, that, I think a lot, okay, this is actually the campaign. Let me just run it through for practicality purposes. So Suzal would come through, she would build products, but these products are only built with certain products. Sorry, these items are only built with certain products. So you need to buy the drill, you need to buy the specific tape, etc. And for you to build this, you have to buy these products, and you then win whatever product and whatever reward you have afterwards. You're increasing the sale of the product by bringing in someone that they relate to who's Suzal DIY. And again, that's what Nike did. Cristiano Ronaldo, Tiger Woods, Casa Semenya, they've just brought on people that they relate to. So I don't know how it relates to your brand, but if there are people out there who really feel strongly about your business and use your products, bring them in, rope them in. I don't discuss what that value trade exchange works for and get them to promote your product that way and your business. But brand in the long term for me is, again, social media is going to die out. I don't know how many of you have been seeing this whole thing of AI and voice automation and voice marketing is the next thing that's coming soon. It really is. I think Jeff Bezos